Welcome to my channel. My name is Ray, and we are about to rewatch season 1 of Wheel of Time. Now, I have already seen season 1. I've watched season 1. I'm a huge Wheel of Time fan. I've read the books. I have the books here, my top shelf above my hand. That's all Wheel of Time. So I'm a huge fan of the books. I started reading them when I was in middle school. And throughout high school and into college. Of course, by that point, Robert Jordan had been in decline, and so the books were few and far between. And then, of course, he passed. So Brandon Sanderson picked up the reins and, kind of from Robert Jordan's notes, he kind of finished the series out with Robert Jordan's wife's blessing. So that's if you want a timeline on when I read the books, that'll give you kind of some context. And I guess some context on when I was in high school and college. But so I was a huge fan of the books. However, I have not reread this series in pretty much over a decade, since I was in college, I want to say. Because, of course, at that time, the books were dropping like every few years, every couple years or something like that. So I was rereading, the series right before the new book would drop. And so, like, the early books I had read multiple times, but the later books I hadn't read multiple times. And then, since then, a lot of things happened in my life, but I haven't really gone back and reread the books. Since then. So, when I first watched the first season of The Wheel of Time, I was coming to it with just kind of what I remembered after a decade of, not necessarily reading or brushing up on it. And I kind of intentionally did that. I could have reread the books before the series, just to refresh myself, but I kind of ultimately decided not to do it. I might do a reread of the first book now that most of the first book has been covered in the first season. Obviously there's been some changes, there's some differences, even stuff that I remember. And of course, they've moved like the Kemlin stuff into season 2 instead of having that be in season 1. Just for obvious reasons, pertaining to budget as well as length of the season. They just would not have had time to put the Camelin stuff in season 1. But with that in mind, I may just do a reread, and I might do something for the channel with that reread. I don't know. But since the second season is about to come out, I thought it would be a good idea for me to rewatch the first season, just to refresh myself on the show. Although I mostly remember what happened, but might as well. And just so that I can have a complete set on my channel. It's not a super, not every show that I'm going to pick up for this channel in like the second, third, whatever season I'm going to rewatch, simply because I just don't have time. But this one's a pretty short season, just 8 episodes, so I can kind of just, film a, episode reaction a day and catch up before the new season drops in a few days. I'm going to try, actually, I'm probably just going to do 2 of them tonight, maybe. I'll do 2 episodes tonight, and then maybe 2 tomorrow, and, like that for the next 4 days, and then I'll watch the first episode of the second season this weekend. Now, I have already watched the trailer. I actually filmed a reaction to it, but right now with the writer's strike and the actor's strike, I don't know how I'm going to post it or if I'm going to. I'm kind of debating on whether or not I should. I'm not going to post these reactions on YouTube until, I don't know, until I feel like it's appropriate. Probably once the writer strike is, when the actor strike is over, or maybe if I do post them, I'll, make sure to add, links and donations and things like that to the, to the fundraising to support the actors and the writers, because I support striking. I support it 100%. And I think that the way the studios have reacted to these strikes and the things that they have said is actually reprehensible. And I think that we should support actors and writers who make the art that we enjoy. So anyway, enough of that. I might cut a lot of that out. Enough of that. I'm going to check out the first 2 episodes of The Wheel of Time. This is a re-reaction, meaning I have watched the entire season already. I've watched the Origins, the animated Origins series that was released alongside these, that put a lot of lore context into the series that they don't actually put into the show. I do have a Patreon. It's not full yet, but I will be posting anything that I post on YouTube that's been cut down will get posted on my Patreon, the full length or the extended versions of it. So, all right. So that's everything that I wanted to say. Let's just jump into the first episode and let's watch this again. Yeah. What was I about to say? Oh, if you're watching this with me, I do have a positive experience with the show. I'm not a book reader who hates the show or anything. So if you're expecting that from this commentary, click off now, because it's not going to happen. I really like the show adaptation, so, not everything about it. Obviously, there's some things, nothing is perfect. There's some things I didn't like about it, but, don't be out here expecting me to just slag this off the entire show. It's not gonna happen. Sorry about y'all. Y'all be easy, though.
Make it filthy.
She's such a good villain, right?
Sisters.
Because she believes absolutely in what she says. I know more about her from the books.
It's not him.
I don't remember everything, like I said, but I know more about her from the books.
Born 20 years ago.
Yeah, the idea that that guy is 20 is ridiculous. 25, I might believe, maybe. 20? They really needed anybody else to play that role.
Be strong, Egwene. Trust the river.
And then, what an initiation. I really like the decision to age them up a few years. Not too much. They're 20 now, so I really like that choice. It allows us to get to... it allows us to not have to replace the actors, as they grow up rapidly. Because even though in the story only a few years pass by, if I remember correctly, in the Wheel of Time books, only a few years pass by throughout the entirety of the books. But if you're doing a show, the show is going to last 5, 6, 7 years. That's the Walking Dead conundrum and the Game of Thrones conundrum. It's just impossible. So I think that actually, now that I'm saying that, I wonder if they're going to stretch out the time in the show, and instead of it only being a couple of years, it ends up being
You were just tiny, we'd let you out in these woods
longer in the show than it was
You'd always save a
in
basket
the books. I think that would be smart, to be honest.
You're married. Your life's over. And Ran
So they had him be married, Perrin,
Did you hear
with the girl from this really, if I listened to the behind the scenes, and with the girl he would have married in the books, from a small passage, they had him actually be married to her in this.
So
But
in your mouth and tell you it was raining.
It's an interesting choice.
Let's play.
If you watch my reaction to the season 2 trailer, you'll know kind of how I feel about that. That's like one of the things in the show that I'm not sure of. I understand why it happened. Like, I can see why they did it and what it will do for the story later on, and allow them to condense parts of Perrin's story later on, but I still don't fully like it. I mean, it's happened already, so I'm just gonna deal with it, but
My girl.
yeah.
You're back. I was worried though.
His character isn't butchered. I know people like to exaggerate online. His character is not butchered. It's not going to be completely different from what it was in the books. Like, it's very clear why they did that and what part of the books they are bringing forward for his character. It's very clear. Anybody who goes, oh, they butchered Perrin is exaggerating. Please understand that. If you're listening to people online, I know I'm online, but if you're listening to people online about these books, please do not lose your mind over somebody online saying they completely ruined Perrin's character. This is the worst thing that's ever happened. Like, it's not that bad.
I'm sure.
Oh, Rand, my boy. The first meeting between... Sorry, there's like a gnat in here. First meeting between Lan and Nynaeve. If I call her Nynaeve sometimes, I'm sorry. That's how I called her for like literally 15 years of my life.
Lan Mandragoran.
I'm getting used to Nynaeve.
This is Moiraine. They said you didn't even go to her ceremony.
Yeah, what's going on with that? Ooh, I love her earrings though.
I love you.
She looks dope. Yeah, I wasn't too keen on his the reveal of him having a crush on Egwene. It just was unnecessary. It's not that in the books there wasn't
Mum, what are you doing there?
like people, there are some, very few, but some people did actually ship them back when I was reading them when I was younger. But
Who's with the girl?
it definitely didn't end up going anywhere. So I didn't love it in the show, and I thought it was a completely unnecessary element to add to his character and their relationship and the story. He had plenty to worry about for the season.
She's alright. Alright.
You could feel
Sorry, it's just
the end
I'm
coming.
thinking about something that I need.
Yeah, aging them up makes sense, but of course when you age them up, of course their relationship would have progressed further. So instead of being kind of understood to get married in the future, they're together. They're just together.
When I was a kid, like some lovesick puppy.
Love this. Not just because of Lan's ass. Daniel Henney, love of my life. Love that man. Not just because of his ass. But I love that it shows how close they are and how it literally doesn't matter for them to be naked in a tub together, and it's never going to be romantic. Like, it's just purely platonic. Love it. Love it. Even though, and it's not, I know some people have only watched the show, so they don't know this, but Moiraine is bisexual, not lesbian. So it's more like they're best friends. And even though she could potentially be attracted to men, she's not. She's not attracted to Lan because that's her brother. That's her soulmate, who's not a romantic soulmate, but a platonic soulmate. This is why I love them together. They're such a good pairing. I love them together.
Rand.
I think it's so funny that they decided to bust down in like this. Like, anybody could have walked down from the rooms and from like the moms, or the mom could have walked in. He really said, we're voyeurs today. So we have the not Forsaken. Why did I say Forsaken? The eyeless here. It's interesting that the eyeless was in the town, seemingly scouting ahead, and then he goes back and gets the army of Trollocs that he brings in. And then we have this guy.
Ready for breakfast?
The wife of her.
Not gonna be Egwene anymore.
Put my kids running through these woods just like I did.
I'm gonna just say this very, very loosely. I love Rand's romantic story in the book.
I'm going to.
Well, you know, Robert Jordan's not great in writing romance, but his choices of romantic pairings I usually like. And I usually understand the vision. And I really like Rand's whole thing. I'm trying to keep it vague for people who haven't read the books, but I really like it. I guess maybe there are a couple of pairings from the books that I don't like. But not Rand. Rand's is good. I really enjoy his. I enjoy Nynaeve's. There's a couple others that
They call you a leader in this town, Wisdom, and here
we
you
haven't
are
met yet,
king.
but I like those as
This
well.
pool is sacred. It's an honor to clean it. What
I
are you
don't like
doing here?
Moraine's
I wanted
in
to
game
walk.
in
In
the
the two
books,
rivers.
so
I
I
would
am
ask the
completely
same of
okay 100% if they change
You're not
that.
from here, are you?
Just sorry, I'm
Your
sorry.
wisdom
I'm sorry to
taught
say
you when
that.
you were a baby.
If you really like who
Maybe
she
his
ends up with
parents passed.
in the books, sorry to
No one
y'all,
remembers exactly when.
but I don't.
That's the thing about these little towns. No one keeps records of anything.
Nynaeve hates Aes Sedai like nobody's business, bruh. I love how
Wisdom. The woman who raised me.
I love her animosity
When
towards
she was
all
only
Aes
13,
Sedai,
she
no matter
realized
what.
She could listen to the wind. And she went
Even
to the
when
White
she
Tower.
even when she goes to the White Tower,
She walked
like even then it doesn't matter.
from here.
She's very consistent in that way.
Took her months.
I disagree.
Their dynamic is
think
really
you're
fun.
strong.
I really like them
Even
having
if you have
scenes
only
together.
had that braid for...
And the
Maybe you're
actresses
okay.
as well. It's really,
I've had it
really
for 5.
strong.
So that makes you 25.
And it makes their scenes really
26.
electric for me.
That doesn't mean I can't do my if I have to.
These two are probably,
Enjoy
plus Lan, are my favorite characters from the show. In the books, Nynaeve is my favorite character along with Matt. Like they're pretty equal to me in terms of how much I like them. And then after them, it's probably like Rand, and then some characters that we have not met with yet in the book. From the books that we have not met yet in the show.
What happened?
So I won't talk about them, but
The wheel keeps turning. Always.
yeah.
We try again. Maybe do a little better than the last time.
I love how throughout the show they put an emphasis on how different people relate to the concept of the Wheel of Time. Because in this world, the Wheel of Time is a fact. It's something that has not just that everybody believes it. Everybody knows that it is true. And so it's not a case of like, oh, I mean, we might get a character here and there that doesn't believe the wheel is real, but like 99% of the people believe the wheel is real. But it's not really about whether or not it's real. It's about how they then interpret what it means for them and their lives and the choices that they make. Do you consider it fate, destiny? Is it something that is trapping you? how they interact or relate to the concept of the Wheel of Time is where you get the diversity in thought and the conflict between the different characters and their ideologies. I think that's super fascinating.
To make their way back here, we'd best show them something worth coming back for.
And we get it throughout the whole first season of different people saying their take on what the Wheel of Time is and what it means for the world and for their lives individually. That's super fascinating. I love it. I like this song. This little folksy song. Woo. Tom is gone, girl. Oof. Trollocs.
What's happening? What are they?
Oh yeah, because it's been like a long time since anyone has seen Trollocs here. So there's like generations of people who do not even know what they look like. You know, padded fame. This actor's so good. I'm really curious how the new actor is going to play Matt in the second season. I'm really anticipating his performance because he's real good. Oops. Wasn't it like a couple of them in the books? It wasn't just one. It was like 2 or 3 of them, something like that. Yeah, these Trollocs look great. Ooh, the heron marked blade. Brandon's like, the fuck? Because he's never seen his dad like wield the sword. Ooh.
Pike, you need to get out of here.
First hint that he knows more because he knows what a Trolloc is, and he was very clear that everybody else in the town doesn't know what the hell a Trolloc is.
No.
I love my girl. She always about them hands. That's one thing they kept from her book counterpart, is that she will snatch somebody up. She will not hesitate. She might heal you after, but she'll stab you. Now, I know from the season 2 trailer that they're gonna give the leaves color there. Yeah, but she just has the white leaves here, but they're gonna change that in the next season. I wasn't too torn up about them not having colored weaves in the first season, but I think it'll serve the story much better. And they could just, I love the Emmons Fielders just saying, fuck this shit. Just grabbing a weapon and going to town. He's just going in. Now I know there's a theory that she's a dark friend, Perrin's wife Layla. I don't know how much I believe it, but there is slight evidence that she might be. But it doesn't make any sense, because if she was a dark friend, she wouldn't be trying to kill Perrin. Because the Dark One wants Perrin and the others. I know, like, the evidence they use for it is that she was coming up behind him with her weapon raised when he accidentally cuts her. But, like, why would she do that? Because the Dark One wants them. He doesn't want them dead. He wants them. Dope. Love that. Here we go. This is the moment. Boom. 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 Yeah. But it is curious that she had her hammer raised there. Like, this is so horrific, actually. Genuinely horrific, actually. Oh, and then she grabs his pinky, because that was the thing that she did when he was in bed with her. Like, oof, oof. She's gone, girl. Should have said it with Moiraine in the screen. Oh no, Lan!
There's too many.
Yeah, there is too many. Yeah, gangster just pulls it out. Love Moiraine, both in the books and the show. I can't wait to come back here to the Two Rivers and Emmonsfield. Emmonsfield is like a village in the Two Rivers area. Just for context for people who don't know.
Where's Nynaeve?
I really am going to enjoy coming back to the Two Rivers. Just to see them post this like extremely traumatic event.
Can you help him?
You know. Ugh. And this tragedy, my God.
Perrin!
Like, the amount of trauma that would actually inflict on Perrin. That's another reason I'm not super keen on it, is that the amount of trauma you would have to work through after accidentally killing your wife. I don't know if we have enough real estate to unpack that for him.
You show up, then these things the next day.
All right, sir.
They're here for the same reason as I am. For you. For the four of you.
So obviously in the show they've made
there was a woman at the White
the five of them to
An Aes
Viren
Sedai born with eyes so white she
rather
couldn't
than
see
just three of them.
anything. Yet still
I like
she
that
saw
change.
glimpses of the
It's I
turning
have.
of the wheel.
We'll see. We'll see.
The Dark
I'll talk
One
about
is
it after
working.
this.
His whispers are already in the backs of our minds. Your life isn't going to be what you thought.
That's an
You've
understatement.
lived too long in these mountains, pretending that what happens in the rest of the world.
I
won't affect
love.
We can't just leave.
Yeah, I'll talk about it after.
you. They're after you. They will follow you. We leave now.
Love Rosamund Pike in this show. She's such a perfect casting choice for Moiraine. Like, she really chews every time she's on screen.
The wheel of time turns, and ages come and pass. But it was a beginning.
Nice. Love the passage that starts off all the books from the series. Yep, so that was episode 1 of The Wheel of Time. My rewatch of the first season has commenced. I will be probably watching episode 2 pretty much immediately after this, so stay tuned for that. What was I about to say? I should have written it down. Well, I don't have anything to write on, so. I was talking. Oh yeah, when she was like, "Oh, your life isn't going to be what you thought." Their journeys, like if you know the books, their journeys are incredible. Like, they go on such adventures, and the people that they are by the end of the books is just so far from who they are in this little town. It's incredible, actually. Especially, there's some that like I mentioned that Nynaeve is very consistent. Like, her personality is fairly consistent, but her growth too, as a person and as wisdom, as her journey. I won't go into spoilers with her, but like, is actually incredible. Like, Matt, where he ends up by the end of the books, bro. Rand, of course, who, you know, obviously we've watched the first season. So if you've watched the first season, you know that Rand is the Dragon Reborn. But as the Dragon Reborn, his journey is so, like, the changes, the trauma that he goes through, just incredible. Like, Egwene as well. Like, their journeys are so interesting. I really enjoy, like I've mentioned in the trailer reaction that I did. If you watch that first, I'll mention it here again. Obviously my favorite characters I've mentioned already are Nynaeve and Matt. And then I have, like, you know, tiers of characters that I enjoy, some of which we've not met in the show yet, so I won't talk about them. But in terms of storylines, they all have really interesting journeys. Although I've admitted in the trailer reaction that Perrin's is not my favorite. It has moments. Like, it's like overall his journey is not my favorite. But he has moments where his story is, like, deeply gripping. So I'm curious. I'm very, actually, I know this is a weird thing to say, but I'm honestly really, really curious to see what they do with Perrin in the show, to see if they can make his journey a little bit more palatable for me. I don't want to say palatable because it makes it seem like his journey is trash. It just wasn't super interesting to me. And you got to bear in mind that this is the me of 15 years ago. You know, 10, 15 years ago. So when I say I didn't enjoy it, I have not reread the books in the last 10 years. So maybe now as an adult, I would actually enjoy his storyline more. Who knows? Anyway, that aside, that's pretty much everything that I want to cover for this particular episode. I don't want to go too deep into it, and I don't want to talk too much because this is a reaction, and I've talked throughout the entire show, throughout the entire episode. So I'll let you guys, you know, discuss down below and everything like that. Like I said, overall, I'm very positive on the show. I really had a great time watching it. And I think I'm going to have a really great time with season 2 because I think season 2 is going to be even better than season 1. So I'm very excited. All right, we're going to jump into the second episode, and we'll, what's it called? Shadows Waiting, where they go to Shadar Lagoth. I think that's how you say it. Sorry. I'll catch you guys next time. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment down below. Like I said, I'm going to rewatch the whole first season, and then I'll start up reacting to the second season. I don't know when this will be going online or in what format, because I am filming these around the time when the strikes are happening. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. I'll talk to you guys next time.
Whatever, all this ever but you